we are going to move on to Wistoria, Wand and Sword, episode
Here he goes, dude. All right, everybody close their ears if you like Wistoria.
No, it's what did you think of the episode?
I thought it was fine. Wistoria happened. I got Wistoria all over me.
All right, if that's what you want to leave it at, we will move into my interpretation.
Okay, fine, Greg. I liked Wistoria's episode. I wish that the animation was better. I wish that the action was better. It's reminding me of like season 1 frustrated me because like the first couple episodes were like dope as shit. And then there was like that 8-episode lull of like the weirdest shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last 2 episodes were fire as well. And like having read some of the manga, I know those artists go fucking hard, dude. There are some scenes in that manga where I was just like, that is a beautiful page.
Yeah, and like for me, none of my gripes are gonna be like animation because I already know where Wistoria kind of stands in terms of like animation. And I feel like there hasn't really been much of an upgrade since season 1 to now. So a lot of the gripes that you are going to hear in the next probably like 10 minutes of me talking, I don't think any of them are going to be like animation related. It's all going to be
Rosty's dong. Got it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all going to be story, character development, gripes, and I think like how the story pieces are executed. And I'm probably going to make fun of some people's names because even like Aaron, dude, like, I don't know, it's fine. Aaron, mysterious old king. It's like, all right, man, like, all right, Aaron. It sounds like it sounds like the one SNL skit with Adam Driver, and he's like the undercover boss of the Death Star or whatever.
Mysterious. Aaron Master old guy.
Yeah, Aaron mysterious old king.
You keep saying mysterious. It's Masterious because he's the master.
Yep, the SNL skit where he's the undercover boss and the lady's just like,
that
I'm
shit
not
was
done
so
with
fucking
my
funny.
muffin yet, Matt. That's what I feel like all of these names are.
Oh, dude. I forgot about that SNL. Oh, my God. That was such an insane, Star Killer base undercover boss. Yeah. Oh, so good. I'm going to watch that later.
All right.
Oh, my God.
All right, everyone.
All right, let's go.
Here we go. Everyone buckle up. We're going to go for a wild ride here. There's going to be things said that I don't think you would have put Wistoria and that thing together. And feel free to stop me at any point during the ride if there's any questions that arise. But here we go. We are going to start with Wistoria.
Why'd you say arise, Greg? This isn't solo leveling because you said why stop. Feel free to stop me, and so I stopped you immediately.
Yeah, I got it. Arise.
For a stupid question. Was it Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Arise, chicken, arise.
Oh, that sounds like something that they would.
I fucking man. All right. Anyways, let's go. God damn.
Here we go. Wistoria, Wand and Sword, episode 4.
I took a lot of screenshots, by the way. He's lubricating.
You're gonna look at him pretty quick. Get the finger on the trigger. Starts with a flashback of what appears to be the tower and some lady in a black dress holding a baby. And then some dude in the evil mage dude clothes rolls up. Pretty sure it's fucking Finn, and we find out later it's Finn.
She literally says right there, this is our pact, Finn.
Taking my notes in the order at which the dialogue is
You said stop you whenever.
Okay, you're right. It is Finn. And I said, yeah, pretty sure it's Finn. And then we find out literally 4 seconds later it's Finn. And is like, tower looks good. And the lady says something about a doomsday clock and the celestial stairway has been sealed. And they get a short respite before the celestial host blows up the world. The lady gets up and is like, in that time before we all die, I'll tend to as many petite wands as possible, and you will tend to a lone sword. And she hands the baby to Finn, and he's like, Mercedes, are you sure? I know that's your 90s stripper name, and that's not your real name, but are you sure? And she's like, yes, this was all part of our pact, Finn, and you will produce someone that can use the 5th element. Cuts to the present, and Finn is watching Will Tron bike around the city and is like, what kind of musical is this going to be? Is it going to be a comedy, a tragedy, a podcast about anime? Who knows? And then he wonders where this pact he made with the witch will lead them. So I'm pretty sure this pact Finn had was just the witch, and Finn banged and made Will, and they just pacted. But then after that, it cuts to everyone watching Will White Lightning and just being amazed. And then to Shion and Colette, and the Devander is going to fuck Shion. And Colette is like, no, Shion, don't get fucked. And he's like, no, I'm not running. Will wouldn't run, and my wand is above average size and about as big as Will's sword, isn't it? Isn't it? But then Will teleports teleports in with his giant sword and blocks the Devander from fucking Shion. Will is like, I'm going to be the lone sword, the mage blade, wheeze, and then literally hits the Devander towards the place where it isn't supposed to get close to, which is the tower. And Cauldron casts Parados Aqualium and blocks the Devander from crashing into the tower, and she's like, phew, that was close. Good thing I blocked that Devander from fucking invading. But Will rolls up, and they duel in the tower courtyard so everyone can see how big Will's wiener is. And everyone is like, oh shit, I can't believe that Will is fighting. Oh damn. Oh shit. Let's all run over there, and maybe we'll be lucky enough to get hit by his wiener when he's swinging it around. But then it cuts to the tower, and all the Magiavander are jerking off via the viewing screen as Will fights. But then it cuts to Clary, and Snape is rolling by, and they have some dumb exchange, and she's like, who's that hot young boy? And Snape is visibly annoyed.
Don't talk about my girlfriend like that.
Oh, that's the only gripe so far
She would never.
of what I've said.
Yeah, you're good. Everything else is great.
Okay.
Great. Greg, you're doing it.
All right, here we go. Cuts to the useless characters they introduced last episode, and they're like, we gotta help Will. And they're like, no, magic doesn't work. We'll only get in his way. Let's just all watch in awe with our pants off as Will solo fights this thing. And all we did was make fun of Will literally forever. But then Shion rolls up and Anime yells, encouraging Will, and the theme song plays, and it's lame as fuck.
Oh, it was awesome. I had a great time.
Montage of everyone cheering for Will, and Iris is like, a world of magic cheering for a loser's sword? Who would have thought? And then Will has a monologue about how the world shit on him, but he wants to protect it. But then Will's sword breaks as he hits the Devander.
But I did take screenshots of a couple of the moments of they give like the filler things when the commercials begin and end. Moltos, the multi-elemental mages, they showed that Cauldron is a Moltos. Like she could use fire and ice, or in water or ice probably at the same time.
Clary is too, I believe.
Which is Clary is as well, and it's rare. So apparently, so far, those are the only two that are Moltoses, and that's probably why they're so invested in Will. Is that Will's able to do things that are Moltos adjacent.
It cuts to the tower, and Elfie has a determined look on her face, and she goes to the balcony of the tower and casts an ice sword for Will and drops it from the tower, and he gets a fully charged Albus Weiss sword. And everyone is like, oh shit, that's like from the Praxis. And Will's sword has the ability to take on other spells. Will cuts off the Devander arm with Elfie's double dick blade sword, and everyone is like, holy shit, this guy is fucking crazy.
You're not going to say Thunder Fury Blessed Blade of the Windseeker? Greg, come on.
Yeah, I mean, that is it. Yeah, you're right. There was no thunder, it was ice, and double dick sword probably is fitting of Wistoria more than Thunder Fury, Blessed Blade of the Windseeker. Anyway, the Magiavander are like, that wasn't magic, that was the fifth element. And Aaron is like, oh, so you found it, Finn, and your one night stand with the Mage Queen paid off. Everyone is still watching Will style on the Devander, and they're like, it's as if Will and Elfie are fighting together. But then Mars is like, headless, more gates, and more demons pop out. But Elfie is like, as long as I'm holding Will's sword wiener, nothing matters. And Will casts Overload, and then casts Full Bust. I'm gonna bust. L-Glass Frost L7, and domain expansions, Fruzel Cardinea.
You've lost your mind, Greg. You have lost your mind. He does domain expansion, basically. Yeah. He malevolent kitchens all over the place.
Yeah. No. Will is like, let's end this. And then his sword grows even bigger, literally fucking 14 feet out of his pants. And with a sword that fucking long, there's no reason for Will to close the distance on the Devander, but he literally could have just swung it from anywhere in the city and hit it. But for dramatic effect, he closes the distance and gets as close as possible to hit it with the longest sword anyone has ever seen, and then ends his domain expansion. And then it has a shot of everyone in town basking in the afterglow, recovering from the biggest bust the town has ever experienced.
Okay, this screenshot goes hard, though. You can't lie to me.
Cuts to Finn, and he's like, yes.
God damn
yes,
it, Greg.
Will is the best. I did it, Mercedes. You hear that? It only took 500 years, and we'll get ourselves that shrimping boat and open up a bubblegum shrimp like we always wanted. And then that's how episode 4 ends. So should we move on to the next anime, or how should we do it?
Oh my god. He's out of control. He's drunk with power. Greg is out of control. Yeah, I thought this episode was fucking cool. Like, I get it. You don't have to like it, Greg, but I do.
Would you like to dispute any of the
No, that is
points
exactly what happened.
Okay.
That is, everything was perfectly explained.
Okay.
And as you can see, guys, what you can see on the screen, if you're listening on Spotify or wherever you are listening, hopefully YouTube, Spotify, whatever, you see on the screenshots, that is what happened. It's real. Greg, did you get a comment on like one of our Wistoria videos that was like, you need to go more into the dicks analogies?
No, I actually haven't looked. For some reason, I don't get notifications when I get a comment. I have to manually look. But no one's said go harder. I think Wistoria itself is telling me to go harder. Like,
Yeah,
Wistoria
100%.
is talking to me and telling me that there needs to be more references to big things that only Will possesses that everyone wishes they could have.
I was having a conversation with a friend of mine about that exact thing earlier.
About Wistoria?
About giant wieners and big ass titties. Women want just big ass honkers. Not all the time, but in a general sense, they want either everything to be nicer in an easy like snap, and men are like, yo, just give me like a fucking like a 12-inch giant hog so I can just fucking whip it around my head and fly off like I have an umbrella.
To me, it's just questionable, I guess. So some of the direction of Wistoria just has me questioning things. I mean, it's fine, right? I think I said it before.
I like it.
I don't hate Wistoria. I don't think that Wistoria is like a failure frame.
No, but you are going to make fun of it.
It's encouraging me to do it, and I'm taking the bait. And yeah, I mean, he cast full bust, and everyone busted.
Yeah,
including the
Devander. Busted
Devander.
all over the place. Yeah, the Devander busted in too, dude. It busted so hard, it was like, oh my god.
I don't know. It's just like the forced dramatic stuff. Like the sword thing, like bugged me a lot. Actually, if your sword is longer, it doesn't automatically like increase in like strength. If you watched like Braveheart or anything like that, you know that the two-handed greatsword obviously isn't a close combat weapon, and like it's something that you have, so you have increased distance, and then you're basically
Greg,
like
we're
cleaving
watching
dudes.
a show about magic. What do you even mean?
No,
You
we are
literally
not watching
played
a show.
World of Warcraft.
We are not watching
Dude,
a show
how
about magic.
fucking-
We're watching a show about Will, who is a sword in a world of magic.
Greg, we are watching a fiction. It is not supposed to be anything other than insane fiction.
I don't think a show like JJK would have done something like that. Actually, to be fair to Bleach, which is crazy, I think in season 1, when Ichigo first got his Shinigami powers, and the first few episodes where he is literally just fucking like killing random hollows around the fucking town, like learning his powers or whatever. I think he was in the school, and then there was a hollow, and he took his sword out and whipped it out, and then it obviously hit the ceiling because he has this giant fucking buster sword. And then it goes into the whole thing about like, okay, giant swords, small places, like not having the correct distance to be able to do this totally makes sense. Now, you're right. It is fiction. They don't have to adhere to the fucking laws and the physics
They fucking
of the
didn't
world.
at all afterward.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying that like other animes have done it. Wistoria
Goblin
didn't.
Slayer did it.
Yeah, Goblin Slayer did it too, because he explains with the short swords like why he's using them inside of like the goblin dens. I mean, you know, any sort of like samurai anime, they will go over it too, where they obviously carry the two swords. You have the longer sword for a longer swing, and then you have a shorter sword if the distance is close. It's like, it's obvious stuff that like makes sense. But this, you know, with Wistoria, they just ignored it, and it's fine. I get it. It's fiction. But then you can't tell me that I'm crazy for seeing that literal 16-mile sword, and then he jumps like in front of the Devander and just
like 9
basically
feet.
hits him with like the hilt of it. And it's like, why would you do that? Like, it's crazy.
I mean, he chops from the mid,
Does he?
but it looks like it's about as tall as the Devander, and it chops him in half, and like
But
the
the contact
like the
point
tip of the sword
yeah.
is going to
Yeah,
is hitting the ground before Will is like even close.
So, I mean, yes, like if you want me to like give some weird, I don't know, benefit of the doubt to Wistoria, like, okay, we don't know what power Elfie imbued into the Albus Weiss double dick sword that they fucking spirit hold together. But when he does his front flip fucking swing of a 9-mile long sword, like, yeah, who knows? Maybe when the tip hits the ground, it has some sort of like after effect of creating like fucking ice shards and jerking off the Devander. Like, who knows? Like, it could happen. But I mean, again, it's not explained. Like, I just have to go with the information that's in front of me now. And like, yeah, I mean, I guess it was kind of cool, but then it was also kind of stupid. I'm presenting both sides of what it is.
I'm with you. Okay. And I also think that it's weird when a show is like, oh yeah, this sword is like 14 feet long and he wields it like a short sword because he's that strong. But like, also, I don't know how strong, like Will could lift a fucking train. I would never know. But it's supposed to be insanely far-fetched. Maybe it's just really strong and it's not that dense like bird bones. Didn't we bring up bird bones on the last episode?
I don't think so. But I mean, that's the thing. Like, I think I would have been more satisfied is if he had that distance originally before he closed it to hit the Devander. So if he did like a Final Fantasy VIII
Ragnarok, Squall's Limit Break.
The one where you basically have the beam out of it and then it just comes down or whatever. If he did that, when he powered up the sword, if instead of him jumping and closing the distance, he just did like a power slash from where he was standing and cut the Devander in half, I would have been like, cool, that makes sense. And then like you could have had like cool fucking frost effect and like snow and it just like explode, kind of like Rukia's Bankai is or whatever. Like
Rough Divide was what it was called.
Yeah. So it's like, you could have done other stuff. And I think like played towards this thing that you put into the story. Like, it's not like I was requesting this giant ass fucking sword for like Will. You put this in here and then you made it weird by him like swinging it as if it was only like 5-inch blade. But I mean, that's not even like the major gripe. That's just like a smaller gripe in the grand scheme of all the little things kind of add up in terms of like making me say the weird ass shit about Wistoria that I said in the past like fucking 10 minutes I've been talking.
I agree, but like, I mean, we've seen the beam up, hold, fucking chop so many times. Like, I don't care. I thought it was
fine,
cool.
Right? And like, again, like it still brings questions about, okay, Elfie apparently still had enough magic to drop a sword to Will that he just imbues and like fucking fucks a Devander with it. Same with Zio lightning punching tables and Kakarot throwing like fire arrows. I thought you guys were fucking had no magic. Like if you had enough magic to do any of that stuff, you probably like could have helped. I don't know. Like to me, it's just there's
and maybe our boy, what's his name?
Raj?
Steve? Raj, that's what it was. Raj might not be dead if they cared enough.
Yeah.
But then again,
Clary survived the hit from the Devander. Snape was able to like crawl up to literally the fucking like bell tower to hang out with her as Will decided to like swing his giant wiener around, and Snape had to like, look on in displeasure as like everyone in the entire fucking city was just like also fixated on Will's giant hog. I don't know, man. It's like, I would say like if I had to give a preliminary rating on Wistoria, I mean, yeah, I don't know, man. It's like a 5.
Average. Anyways, onward.